Hi, I'm Jody Jeline, and I'm here to help you upgrade your body, heal your trauma, and assist your ascension. And we live on a prison planet. Whether you want to realize that or not, it doesn't matter. This is a prison planet that we're on. And a lot of this is going to be coming out soon. Can't come out soon enough, if you ask me. But I want to get into this and what you can do to get out of this prison planet. So we're constantly exposed to trauma, in the NEWS, right? Every day with the Clown News Network, these types of news media and what they're doing. And when we're born, there's trauma, there's birth trauma. I don't know if you get into all that. I do. I studied it before I had my child. Having children is a natural process. That's how we're made to be able to do that and bear children. And of course, I wanted a home birth and they didn't take me because I had a history of heart issues. And that's when the nightmare began, when I ended up having to go to the hospital because I didn't have a choice. And then the medical intervention and just things got not so good. So that starts out, trauma for the baby, trauma for the mom. And of course, that affects you on a physical basis, the child on a physical basis, their health. And then we're taught right away the separation, like the put the child in daycare. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that happens that we've really been programmed into in this world, mostly in the US. Other countries don't really do that so much, but we do in the US. And it has been done in the US for a reason, because of the plans that they had for the US is part of this system that I talk about. And then because of all the struggles with money, the struggles with relationships, the struggles that have come down generation after generation after generation after generation, who have also struggled with this, who also lack the self-love or don't know how to emotionally regulate themselves. They don't know how to get past trauma. And this abuse is passed down, passed down, passed down. This is why 1 out of 3 girls have sexual abuse and 1 out of 5 boys. I actually think it's actually more than that. This is what they say it is, because who reports it? I never reported it. Like, oh no, you did not do that. Oh, when I was sexually abused, I would see on TV, again, programming, I would see what they did to women that were raped. And they'd say, well, what were you wearing? Like it was her fault. This is the programming they put into us. So you didn't dare tell anyone because something's wrong with you. And so then you believe this. Chances of you having had some kind of sexual abuse watching me are pretty high, but like this is what they do. So then it gets unreported, and oh my gosh, this whole stuff with children has just gotten way out of control. Maybe it's been always out of control. It's coming more to light what's going on. So it's always been way out of control. And it's just coming more to light, like, right now. But my point is, this is all trauma. And then we have to, as children, we can't cope with this. It's very difficult for children. And so what happens is we fragment part of ourselves out because we can't handle it. We can't handle that trauma. And so you kind of like escape out of your body. Part of your soul just like, I want out of here. Like, I can't handle this. This is the prison planet we're on, whether you realize it or want to believe it. But when you look at all this stuff, and if you're awake to the system, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you will be soon. So all this trauma, again, it affects our physical body because we're energy, and it distorts us. And of course, it's going to cause health issues. I mean, you've heard stress. Doctor visits are what, 100% stress, it stems from that. So there it is right there, right? And we have stress because, as I was saying before, the trauma from abuse, the trauma with money issues, this was put on us also. Like we pay, so much in taxes, everything is taxed. Once I saw a list, it must have had 200 things on there that we are taxed on. I was like, Holy man, that is insane. No wonder we have money struggles. I mean, it's a joke. It is literally a joke. And where that money's going is no joke. And it's not going to what you think it's going to. I'll tell you that. And why am I telling you all this? Because without knowing this, you're going to get sucked further and further into the system as things start to escalate here on the planet. And they are going to. And the more you get sucked in, you're going to be going down the wrong timeline because we are bifurcating right now. You've got to choose which timeline you're going down. And it's like, well, I'm a good person, I'm going to go down this timeline. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way because they know how to manipulate you and get you sucked into their stuff and their agendas and all of that. And I can get deeper into that in another video. But right now, this is the awareness. Okay, the awareness of all the things that have happened to you and how vital it is for you to heal that trauma because you are you're in a holographic universe. You are literally projecting in your hologram your reality. So if you're getting caught up in the system, which is it's not easy to not get caught up in, because it's like, what? You don't want things to happen. It's not fair, all of that. But you also can't get sucked into it. But something that's really important, if you see a wrongdoing, you've got to jump in there and do something with that if it's in front of you, because it showed up in your hologram for a reason. Okay, because we're being tested right now. We're being tested for what we're going to be doing here and helping others. How we stand up, or are we just going to sit on the side and let someone else do it? I experience this a lot. I've been trying to wake people up my whole life and a lot over the last 5 years because I've understood this at a deeper level of what's really going on. And I don't get backup from other people. Nobody backs me up. Like, yeah, what she's saying is true. No, they don't, which is crazy to me. They're afraid. They're afraid to look bad. I get it. I don't want to look bad either, but I do. And I get ridiculed. It's happened my whole life because I don't follow the system. I've always been able to see the system. I've always tried to get out of the system as much as humanly possible. This is why I'm so alternative. Okay. I believe in natural law. That's what this earth is, and this is how it was supposed to be. Not all these chemicals and all the things and the poisons and the foods and all the trails that come from the sky, from the condensation trails, which aren't condensation. Gosh, I hope I don't get shut down for saying this. I'm not speaking in code very well. This is not easy to do. I'm hesitating to say things because I know people get taken down. I've already had things on my Facebook, deleted, and I barely said anything, kind of just what I said right there. So that's why I'm like, oh, shoot. The things they don't want you to know. But my purpose of sharing this again is to just bring that awareness to you so you can see it. Because what happens is you can start seeing different pieces of the puzzle, like, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. All my life, I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. Why do people do that? Why are they all following the same advice? It doesn't work. That made no sense to me. Like, what is going on here? It was bizarre to me, but I always went the opposite. Like if the majority was going this way, I went this way. Okay. Because none of that made sense to me. And so I've always bucked the system, and then I get like ripped on from people like, you're so different and you're da 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 da. Why don't you just do this? Because that makes no sense to me and that doesn't work. This is how my brain was. And then it was like maybe about 5 years ago when all the pieces of the puzzle were put together for me when I learned something which I can't say on here because then I'll really be taken down. And I was like, bingo. Wow. This is why nothing made sense to me. Now I see the agenda here and what's going on, and it's not good. So this is why I'm constantly screaming at people to help wake them up and critically think. Critical thinking skills are the most important thing you can do. Common sense and critical thinking skills. This has nothing to do with so-called intelligence, how you've been educated. Throw that stuff out. That's just indoctrination. Sorry, I have a master's degree, so I can say this. Sorry to tell you that, but that's part of the system too. I'm not saying you didn't learn things or whatever, but the other things in your life, you've got to really critically think. Does this even make sense? Does this make sense? Why is this happening? Do you do that? You've got to be doing that now because things are really getting exposed. I know a lot of it is kept, a lot, 99% of it is kept from people about what's really going on. But when you start seeing little things, start putting it together, start piecing it together, this is how you become this critical thinker and this detective. Because my purpose here is to help assist people with their ascension. This is why I've been screaming at people my whole life about natural, 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 the way things are supposed to be. Everything was put on this earth for us. We have everything we need. It's just been manipulated. You've been manipulated. We've all been manipulated. And so we have been indoctrinated into this system that does not function for us. Like if you think of it, the med industry, drug industry, it all comes from like chemicals. So for instance, aspirin comes from the bark of a tree. You can't patent that natural thing that helps us. So you have to take that and add chemicals in, and then you can sell it for a lot of money. And then it has all the side effects. I mean, come on, you know that. You see it all on TV listed, and even death. Okay, give me that. What? Wow. When there's natural stuff that you can do that gives you side benefits. Yeah. This is what I've known my whole life. This is why I don't look my age. I do the opposite of what everybody else does. Okay. Because that system ages you, keeps you stuck in your trauma, stuck in your emotions, stuck in anxiety and stress and all of that. And oh, have I experienced that? Oh, hell yeah. I've had my own issues. And did the system help me? I had to figure it out on my own naturally. This is how I've always been able to shift stuff that's been going on in my body through natural means, because the other system never worked for me. It only caused more issues. This is why I'm an all natural girl. And again, not following the system. Wait, following the system was this way. Not following the system was this way. I think I like this way. So I don't look my age and do what everybody else does. That ages you. Okay. There's like a way to avoid that as much as possible. There really is. I've cracked the code on that. The crazy thing is I've talked to people about this many years ago. Like I remember I was part of this women's group, and gosh, it's probably been 5 years since I saw this woman. But so 25 years ago, it's probably longer than that I joined this group. And it was like this weekly thing. And this woman I hadn't seen in like 20 years, probably, we went to the same luncheon every month. And then I see her 20 years later, and she's like very wrinkled, like her face is like really wrinkly. I think she's my age or maybe a little younger than me. And I'm guessing probably younger, maybe 10 years younger than me. And anyway, so I saw her and she looked at me and she's like, "You look like you did 20 years ago." Like she was in shock. And it's like, I've been trying to tell you guys, but people don't want to listen, because you know why? It's not the narrative that they've been told, and it's not what everybody else does. So people want to follow and do what other people do. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's a natural thing because you want to be accepted. I get that. I do too. Gosh, I put myself out there and I don't like it. I hate being judged. It's very difficult. Sometimes I'll hold myself back. Even talking on here, it's like, ooh, what can I say? All of that. But I still do it. I still do it. And this is why I created this channel away from everyone I know. I'm just going to say what I want to say. And if you come on and judge me, whatever, I don't know you probably. Maybe I will get to know you. I hope I do. But I need a place where I can speak, try to wake people up that want to learn this stuff, or if you already do know this stuff, that you want to go, okay, what is this natural stuff that I can do? How can I keep my body clean? How can I release this trauma from my body because I have anxiety, I'm stressed, I'm worried, I don't know what's going to happen to me and my kids and my family. And I know what's going on and I'm very scared and I can't seem to not eat all the crap, or I feel sick all the time. My body's very unhealthy. How do I start going natural and do this? This is what I do. Oh, I could just oh, I'll tell you, I'll help you. This is where I get excited. Okay, here's what you need to do. Okay. So obviously this stuff lights me up because this is the stuff that I've been doing my whole life. Some of this has always come really natural and easy for me. Others, very difficult. So I'm on so I know the challenges and the stuff that happens and eating healthy has always just been natural for me. It's just what I've always done. Why? Because when I was a preteen, I said, I will never end up in a place like that. And this is where a bunch of sick people were, young, old, they were in this hospital setting in bed and just not healthy at all. And I said, I will never end up in a place like that. Boom. I just set the whole trajectory of my whole life. Health's my number one value. So what do? The actions it takes to stay healthy. That's it. And so these are things that I've intuitively knew. These are things that I've learned. These are things that I struggled through. These are things that I've worked through my whole life. These are traumas. I grew up with a lot of trauma and abuse. I lived in fear all the time. I had, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse. I had it all. So I know what it's like. Oh yeah, did I shut down? Yeah, big time. Nobody could penetrate and talk to me. The fact that I'm here doing this is huge, huge. That shows you how much I've worked through that stuff because I would never share that with anybody. I would never tell a soul. I was in my 30s before I ever told anyone I was sexually abused. My whole life, I've really gone through all this stuff by myself. I know what it's like to be alone. I am kind of a loner. It's crazy because I'm very outgoing and I do this. And at the same time, I'm kind of a loner. It's because I feel different and it's really hard to find people that are like-minded. I do have groups of people, not necessarily where I live, but around the world where I fit in with them because they're out of the box people too. So that's kind of nice. So I just want to bring you aware of natural. Just keep that in your head. Natural law is consciousness. Now, one of the things when I talk about, upgrading your body, healing your trauma, assisting your ascension, so upgrading your body, how you resonate, meaning your vibrational energy, is what you'll attract back into your hologram. So I was with this abusive narcissist, and I won't go into detail in this video, but I had this abusive narcissist. I had to have that in order to hit rock bottom, because I wasn't learning my lessons. My whole life has been men trauma. This was my thing to experience in this lifetime, is trauma from men and overcoming that and healing that, to now I coach men also in my business. Who would have ever thought? I sure wouldn't have. It's like, what? I'm supposed to coach men? Like, that's been my biggest trauma my whole life, is men. Anyway, we all have our things that we have to learn. And now I have a whole different outlook and um, resonance or whatever with men. Like, I had so much to heal. Oof. I'll go into that sometime, because that's been quite the journey. But, I had to hit rock bottom with someone that was abusing me, a narcissist. He was a narcissist, and he was verbally abusing me. And I took it, right? And then I had to go hit rock bottom and say, never again will I allow anyone to abuse me. Did I say I allow? Yeah, I allowed it. Now I'm an adult. When you're a child, you don't have any choice. But as an adult, I did have choice, and I allowed it. That's not saying that he did wrong, right? I'm not saying he didn't. But at the end of the day, I allowed it. So you have to take ownership. I took ownership. And that was the beginning of my healing process with men. I had done other stuff before, but it was a whole deeper level that I had to get to in order to start shifting things in my life. So these things show up for us to heal through them. And then guess what happened? I shifted my vibrational energy. So now a man like that would never even show up in my space. Never. Why? I don't resonate on that level anymore. I healed that. Like, it just would never happen. Like, I know that it would never happen. It's just not even an option or a thing. When you start shifting vibrationally, your frequency, you get those types of things coming into your life. This is how the law of attraction works. Everything's a mirror, it comes back. It's like a boomerang, what you feel inside, you resonate out, and then that's what comes back to you. So I resonate a whole different vibration of value and love for myself. And I see men in a different light than I did, because I used to think men had no feelings. That was my reality growing up. And of course, what did I attract? Men that really, not that they didn't have feelings, but they treated me not so well because I allowed it. But I had to heal that, and then I resonate on a different level. So I have a whole different quality of man that shows up. So this is part of the process of healing. So when you heal, you attract different things. And now we are ascending. So it's vital for us to heal that heavy, dense energy that we have, or you're going to put out in your vibration those types of things that will come back into your reality. And right now, you don't want that. It is vital right now for you to shift that trauma, vital, and alchemize that into love. There's a process to do that. This is what I teach. And that helps you upgrade your vibrational energy. So you go down the timeline of ascension. This is what is like the most important thing right now that you can do in your life. And I'm here to help you with that. That's why I'm here. I know that's why I'm here. I know I'm here. And I've always known I'm here to help people awaken to the system. Okay, that's just been me my whole life. Now, in the last 5 years, I get it on a whole other level because now I'm really seeing. I always wondered why things were so horrible all the time. Like, with, watching the things on TV and why so many things happen in the wars and all the craziness and the way people treat each other. It's like, holy man, this just doesn't feel right. Now that I know what's really going on behind the scenes, I knew right away, oh, that's why I'm here. I'm here to awaken people to that so they can choose a different timeline. But you've got to heal. You've got to heal. You've got to heal the emotions, the thought patterns. You've got to know what you're putting on and in your body. This is all part of it. This is all part of the importance to go into this ascension that we are currently in right now, because you don't want to stay in this 3D reality. You do not want to stay in this 3D reality. It's only going to get worse. So, no judgment to anyone that chooses whatever they choose. That's your journey. Okay. I'm here to open this up for you to be able to go down the ascension. If that's not your choice, that's fine too. Whatever you choose is your soul's journey. And I know there's people that want to choose differently, and that's okay. We're all here learning our own experience that we are here to learn. It's hard. It's like, hey, what are you doing? But who am I to say, right? I can offer this to people, what I've done, how I've done it. If you want this, then I can help you. And I can guide you on how to do that because I've done it and am still doing it, of course. And then you're at choice point. You can choose, right? This or this or this timeline or that timeline. So put your questions below. Tell me what you want to hear more about, and I'm happy to share. And always remember, no matter what you choose, you matter and you're loved. Okay, peace. And hit like and subscribe too. That would be awesome.